Yeah.
And now they're tag team this week?
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's because of the triple threat match at the pay-per-view.
Oh, so it's a triple threat match for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I'm tired of triple threats. Okay.
Yeah, well...
I'm lost because I didn't really see this week's Raw, so...
Yeah, so, that's what's happening. So, Miz comes out, gets down on Primo again. As the match was happening, Carlito comes out and distracts Primo, and Miz picks up the win. Later on, Carlito goes ahead and gets Primo and spits that apple in his face.
Cool. Love it.
Yeah, and you could see a big chunk spitting out from...
But he's got to drop that mustache.
Oh, yeah. You seen that?
I saw that little preview. I did see that part.
Carlito's little mustache and goatee.
Yeah, I'm not... The goatee is cool, but that mustache it's outdated, man. It's a little long.
But, if you we have TiVo.
Yeah.
And you saw the little chunk of apple that came out of Primo's mouth.
In his nose. It was all in his face.
Yeah, well. Ain't nothing but brotherly love, I guess. They share the same spit.
Ugh.
Same blood, same spit.
You get it.
The next segment was Hornswoggle and Seth Green's office. And I guess they were going to make the match between Hornswoggle and Chavo about the one arm tied behind his back.
Yeah.
So that was that waste of time.
A big waste of time for Chavo.
Next match was MVP and Jack Swagger.
Yeah.
Which I'm a big fan of Jack Swagger.
I love this matchup.
This match was great. It's just something was missing. Something was missing. And I felt that the missing part came from MVP.
I could kind of see that. He didn't look so aggressive in this match. But I think it's a good build-up to maybe something better.
Well, yeah, they're going to have a feud, and it's most likely after this pay-per-view, the Night of the Champions, is when they're going to settle it.
Yeah.
So this is going to go on for about another month or so.
That would be great.
Jack Swagger goes ahead and picks up the win with the gut-wrench powerbomb, which was very sloppy. For a big powerhouse as Jack Swagger...
Yeah, but MVP looks pretty heavy.
He is heavy.
He looks pretty heavy.
And you
got to be really strong to pick up MVP.
They did go for just under 8 minutes.
Which is not bad.
Not bad. But, you're going to bring it home. You got to bring it home. I mean, that's the whole reason why they created that term in wrestling business is, okay, bring it home.
Yes, sir.
This is where this is where everybody runs to the front. Cameras are flashing because they're getting ready for the finisher.
Yes, sir.
And it was sloppy.
Got to sell it.
It was sloppy.
Yeah.
So, that was that. Let's see, what else? Checking my notes here. Jericho comes out and addresses the crowd about the situation with him and Edge. They came up with some kind of storyline, and I hope it wasn't Jericho's out-of-the-box thinking about this. But he went ahead and said that because he knew Edge was injury-prone, that he made it in the contract before they became champions that if for some reason Edge became hurt, that Jericho could go ahead and pick a partner of his choosing. Yeah. And he said, that was smart, wasn't it? I hope that wasn't him that thought of that.
Yeah.
It don't sound like Jericho.
No.
But
it's a good move, Dale. I'll tell you that. I give you that. It's a good move it's a good excuse.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but again, why don't you just say, hey, look, you know what? Edge is a piece of crap because, he keeps getting injured. So every time the wind blows, he breaks something. So, instead of vacating the belts, I'm just going to go ahead and replace him by a partner of my choosing at Night of the Champions pay-per-view. And that's, what? They should have said that, but I don't know. They want to go ahead and start doing that stuff. Again, they're getting a little bit more gimmicky than getting more reality-based, which the direction they should be going since the MMA is so hot.
Yes and no. We've talked about this before. I think the gimmick side's worked more for WWE right now. So I would keep going that way. I like the little fake story about Edge being hurt and, part of being in contract. It's a good excuse for those who don't really know.
Mark Henry comes out and kind of teases the crowd that he's going to be the new tag team partner. But instead goes ahead and attacks Jericho. And he was ripping his shirt, and he tried to rip the shirt around the neck from Jericho, and it wasn't happening only because Jericho actually had a real tie around his neck and was actually strangling
Almost killed him.
strangling Chris Jericho. Did you see the fan touching Chris Jericho and how pissed he got?
Jericho wanted to jump that wall so bad.
Wow, yeah.
He thought it was another girl.
That's the problem with Jericho, though. I mean, he does not want to be touched.
He doesn't. He's a superstar.
Yeah, but I mean, do you
blame him?
I hope that's work because that incident. Did you see that incident on YouTube?
That girl, yeah.
When he hit that girl,
yeah.
You're trying to be a heel and you're trying to stay true to your character, but at the same time, though, I mean,
gotta be careful. But I like it. This is what makes it look real. This is what's gonna sell it. And if you want to talk pushing this MMA thing, this is Jericho's doing it.
But
Jericho's making it look real?
Who's gonna be at fault here in that situation?
Jericho.
Is it gonna be Jericho or is it gonna be WWE?
Jericho.
Or both?
It could be both. But at the same time, do you blame them? They need to make something happen.
Well, look at Big Show.
Jericho just has to be smart with his decisions. Like there's some people that do it well. Like Randy Orton does it really well. When people touch him, he gets right in your face and he yells stuff at you.
Yeah.
But he doesn't touch you. But Jericho takes it just a little bit too far.
But that's in the ring.
Maybe he can shove, but be careful.
But that's in the ring. And there's been stories of other wrestlers getting involved with altercations with fans outside of the ring.
Yeah.
In real life, situations.
Yeah.
And nothing really happens.
No.
But, this time Jericho, hit the girl.
Oh, well. Did you see the video when all the security guards are just standing there? They ain't doing anything.
And that was the big problem there.
That's the problem. Those people are getting paid to protect somebody or protect the property or do their job, and they ain't doing their job. This guy couldn't even get into his car. I don't blame nobody but the security.
You're absolutely right in that sense where the security, I don't know how the security allowed, I don't even know what kind of arena will allow fans, bunch of marks, to get so close to the talent. And then when you had security right there.
Yeah, they weren't doing anything. There's so many people right in Jericho's face that shouldn't have been allowed in the first place. That's security's problem. It's the people who hired security's problem. It shouldn't be Jericho's fault or WWE.
Well, that match between Jericho and Mark Henry didn't last long at all. It only lasted about a minute and a half.
Well, it's all right. He's not part of Raw.
Well, yeah. Jericho, at least make it a little bit more interesting.
I would love to see a feud between Henry and Jericho, but it would seem too confusing right now. He's already has a storyline in SmackDown, and now he's lost with Edge as a partner. This is not the time to kind of throw Jericho in 100 different ways to see what can happen. You need to put him back on SmackDown, focus on Jericho, and put him something new, give him something new. This Raw thing is just, I think it was a waste of time.
I'd like to make this point right now to the new listeners to the show. That a couple weeks ago, and this will validate that somebody that we know in the WWE is listening to the show and is, in fact, using maybe some of our ideas. I can't really say he is or not because of our conversation on the phone with him last week. But you, Ray, made the comment. You made the call before the draft happened. Mark Henry.
Come to Raw. He's a waste of time on ECW.
And what happened?
He came to Raw.
But he came to Raw
as a face, which I got disappointed about because he's so big and powerful. But then I watched this happen right now about Jericho and him, and I'm okay with it now. I'm okay with him being a face because of the simple fact that on Raw you have the big guys that I always like to see are like Randy Orton, like The Miz, people like that. Those are the big heels right now on Raw, and I like to see Mark Henry go against that. I like to see him up there with the big dudes.
Yeah, and it's only a matter of time.
And I was happy that they gave him a shot with Jericho on Raw. It was an opportunity for Henry to get pushed a little bit, and I thought I did a good job with that, even if Jericho shouldn't have been there.
Right, but again, it's only a minute and a half. You didn't really get to see too much.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see a little bit more of it.
Oh yeah, but there's a possibility for Henry. That's what I got out of it. That there's a possibility of him getting a title run or getting a good spot on Raw where he can be have a purpose. You know what I mean?
Do you think Mark Henry would be pushed ahead more than Big Show?
I would say yeah. He's the only one that seems more aggressive. Big Show's a little too slow.
But what's the matter with Big Show, though?
I love the Big Show. I'm always a big fan of Big Show, but